Hello again, internets. Sir Mutton Chops here, and this time we find ourselves in Lake Illumin. That's a reference to Zelda of all things, and well, we're just passing through, so don't pay too much mind to this. This is more of a sightseeing moment for those touristy people who want to get some experience here. Hey, go for it. But for right now, we're headed for the Crypt of Dalnir. We've got a group gearing up to go, and we're just waiting on everyone to kind of head over to that specific location in Warslicks, which was kind of difficult to find actually. We had to find the water first. A lot of us did. One or two people knew where it was, but the rest of us were kind of wandering around, meandering aimlessly, trying to find the zone in. There's this little, I don't know, this little cave-like area, little tunnel system, where a bunch of Yetis are. Or I think they're Yetis, or they're just brutes. Yeah, that's right. The orange ones are brutes. They're all kind of congregated in there, in a little cluster. So you have to go in Viz or try to take them out one by one. But well, we just went in Viz, and then, as you can see, we've decided to stick near the zone line at first. As I'm the paper tank, we don't have any tanks available, so we're kind of scrolling through the looking for group people in various zones and trying to find someone who's nearby. So yeah, it's my duty right now to pull, and pull I shall. I don't like pulling casters. I think I speak for just about every monk out there. It really does suck, especially if you can't get out of the line of sight, because they will cast on you, and oh, you just take a pummeling. Unless you have high MR, or somebody in your group can cast magic resist on you, or resist magic, I should say, you're kind of hanging out there naked. You're definitely not in good shape, especially if there's more than one. If there's more than one caster, it's just not gonna bid well for you. You have to be really good with the timing for your feign death, and I'm still learning at this point in my monkly life. Even now, later on in levels, because this is quite a while ago. Um, but nevertheless, all is well. Our tank showed up. He's a Shadow Knight, and it's interesting because it seems like most of the tanks I have grouped up with have been Shadow Knights, and they've been really proficient. They've known their role. They've always held aggro. I've really had no complaints as far as Shadow Knights are concerned. Although I haven't grouped up with any of the other tanks. No Pallies, and no Warriors. Not really a lot of them on this server. There are a few though, so maybe it'll happen one of these days. But yeah, we're moving down further, clearing out the entrance way, trying to make a path so we can get down further. This guy that just joined, Drac, he knows this zone very well, or so he claims to, and later on that's backed up, as you'll find out. So we're gonna get a nice treat here, a tour, if you will, of Dalnir. So if you're previously unaware of this zone, or maybe if you've gone through here but didn't have enough time to see the nooks and crannies, well, stay tuned because it was a lot of fun, and definitely it felt a lot more fun knowing that this guy had everything kind of under control. That's always the best thing in the world. When certain people are in unawares, it's a little disconcerting. You feel kind of nervous. So, well, this kind of just took the edge off, and we're gonna start moving here in a little bit. But for right now, it's about clearing out the undead and what other mobs that lay in our path. I am still using a bad weapon configuration. I have no excuses. I should have figured it out by now, but well, I just nobody had the heart to tell me, I guess. And this is some crazy looking sperm, isn't it? It's wild. That's the sperm of the future. It well, watch out, ladies. That's all I'll say. It's like praying mantis, but inverted. It's the man gets revenge. So yeah, we've kind of moved a little bit further in. We fell in from up that way, that grate you just saw, and I had the wherewithal to go ahead and say, okay, start recording again. I don't like recording when we're kind of moving from camp to camp because it slows the process down just a little bit, just enough where it's maybe not a good idea. But yeah, if you notice, people have started to disappear here. I wasn't too sure what was going on. I didn't know if that was on purpose or not, but there they went, and so Yeah, wasn't too sure. Me and the guy from BDA were kind of we're kind of staying back, kind of lingering, not too sure what to do. But well, we get the idea here soon enough. We're not the slowest of people, you know. We know what we're doing. Got my safe fall skill up there, and now it's time to assist our tank because well, we pulled aggro, and it took me long enough to get down here, but well, doesn't matter. I'm here now. And once again, we're kind of looking up the skirts of mobs, just like in Warslicks. But these don't have skirts, do they? They have some kind of leggings. Maybe they're doing ballet, or they're just new, trendy, hip women or men. I guess they're men. I don't know. Again, we don't have females to attack, except these dark elves here and the gnomes. But these Sarnax, they're not. Maybe they're androgynous. I'm not too sure, but well, it's hard to tell a sex of any reptile, really. I'm sure there's some kind of scientist out there who says, no, there's a very quick way, and okay, whatever. But the only way to tell the sex for Ixars is whether their face paint or face markings are colorful or not. But, well, I'm not suggesting anything there. I'm not suggesting the manhood of these players is at stake because of what race they chose. I'm not saying that. There are people who choose to play female characters, although there are those also that decidedly do so, and it's for purposes that are shady. They want the money, and it's well, that's just awkward. And most people loathe that. They despise it. It is frowned upon, and I just find it awkward. But well, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you through the night. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. We've taken out. I think that's terrible English. Again, my English professor would bash me in with a toaster. Now that works. I'll do that. Maybe a piece of frozen chicken. Uh, start getting more creative with these deaths. But we've taken out some goos and whatever else is aggroed us, and now it's time to get in a little bit further into this dungeon. Now, I'm not one to really dungeon crawl, which is very strange because most people who play monks really love dungeon crawling. It's just a good class for that. I just don't like the being all tense. I don't really trust myself in areas, and I should because feign death is pretty much infallible now. Its fail rates are so low, it just doesn't make any sense. Although at this level right now that I'm at in Dalnir, it has been known to fail on more than one occasion. So I guess I can't blame myself at this level that I'm at in this footage. It's not my fault. I have a good reason. But yeah, that's the one really cool thing about monks is if you're soloing a caster that has a pet, after you kill the caster, if you feign death, the pet goes bye-bye. No more pet. Well, we are in a group, so I guess it would help to go ahead and just kill it anyway. We get the experience too, so you can't really complain about that. And he's down. We took him out. Light blue cons. What can they do? They can't do anything. And I believe our tank has a worm slayer there. I think that's the only graphic for that kind of weapon is that be the worm slayer. I can pronounce my words. So yeah, we're moving in further. We're taking out things. We're being proficient in language and efficient in the game. got Bortak there. Me and him are we're on the ball. We know to head back. He has to split, and he needs enough room to do it. You don't want to pull aggro off him. That would just be disastrous, especially if a caster does that with their low HP. Now, it's interesting. I have my squad ring here, you'll notice, which is one heal, right click, rechargeable. I just found out there's another ring that does even better. It's a greater healing, and it's in Kinos. And I found it on Project 1999's wiki page. Although I'm not sure if it's implemented or not, so I'm going to have to go try that out. But it's in Kinos, the quest. And it's very simple. All you do is kill a thief, a level 9 thief, at the Kinos gates, and then return something to the quest giver, and you get the ring. And it also has +2 wisdom, so go figure. I'm going to have to try that out, because it has helped. Not much, but it has helped in times of dire, horrible moments and distress. So... oh, maybe that'll be my new hotkey item, clicky. I like clickies. I think most people do. You got to collect them all. It's like Pokemon. Gonna collect them all, or whatever the song, whatever the jingle goes. Uh, I'm not looting, as you can tell. I'm just not looting. That's not my thing. I don't like collecting stuff on my monk. It just weighs them down. And as I don't have a tinkerer's bag, I'm kind of SOL. So there you have it. Wrong weapons configuration, and I don't have any money. Uh, that's okay. I had less money on my cleric. Clerics are pretty low on funds. They don't really get a lot in the way of the platinums. Too busy healing, too busy sitting back. That's how that works. But yeah, this is Dalnir. I was really kind of impressed with the whole area. Uh, there wasn't any aggro through the walls, bad pathing as far as I can remember. We did have some spawn rate issues, but that was our own fault. It's always good to have a timer. I've learned that later on, especially like in lower Guck or El Guck. Not speaking Spanish there, just short for lower. It's really good to have a timer. Almost imperative because you know how much to pull, when to stop pulling. It obviously it speaks for itself. But yeah, we could have probably used a timer here. But as this guy's pretty familiar with the zone, I guess it wasn't necessary. And we do have a really good healer. So yeah, that is the zone so far. We're gonna make our way to the church. I believe that's what it's called. The church, cathedral, monastery area, the chapel. It's one of those one of those one of those names for a religious ceremonial area. And we're gonna try to split them all up. That's gonna be my job and the job of Drac here. I am basically just the watchdog for when anything pops after we do split it, because we do end up splitting it. And well, right now things are kind of going a little haywire because we got an ad that snuck up on us. But well, never to fear. It's time to stare at his crotch and start hitting. They kind of look bird-like. I guess that makes sense though, because most reptiles are very bird-like in nature. Um, Very similar scales and the feathers. They're like emus, I guess. Dinosaur-like. Getting it all that Archipterydox, or however you pronounce the name of that dinosaur. But yeah, we're gonna kill this Cly invoker. Now, the really cool thing about this zone is it's almost monk heaven. I say almost because crescent armor drops, but it doesn't have the best AC. And I found that AC is better than really any stat. Unless you have exorbitant stats on an item, AC is really what you want to be aiming for. Um, but with that in mind, it's really not bad loot, and it is no drop. We'll pick up a few pieces while we're here. I really kind of wish we'd gotten some slippers, because they have some pretty good stats in them, and I think it's only like one less AC than Woo's. Woo's is still pretty good. I still use it now because there really isn't a lot in the way of options for monks, at least until planes and Velios. I believe Velios had some better gear, so well, just rocking the Woos for now, and a few other pieces. But it's better than cloth or mesh. That would be kind of embarrassing. Although lots of casters still wear cloth, and there's nothing embarrassing about that. Casters don't really even need stats, most people argue, because, well, really it's just secondary. The best thing is that you can actually play and play well. I think monks have a little bit more leeway with that, but that said, I would much rather play with someone who had really bad gear but knew how to play their class than to have someone who had all the doohickeys and were just twinked out and didn't know what the hell they were doing. I think I speak for most people, just about most everyone, because it really does ruin the game. I understand people like playing certain classes or want to give it a go, but the whole idea is to learn how to play it, so you have to have, less than ideal circumstances. And from that is how you gain skill. And trust me, I did not know how to play monk, and had I had the items like Funky Tunic, I would not have learned when it was necessary to feign death. I wouldn't have waited desperately for men to pop up and have to time it correctly with the cleric in mind, if we even had a cleric in the group. So yeah, it's there's a lot to learn. The game is not a forgiving one. Uh, Bind Wound is your friend, even way, way, way later up in levels. It's just, it's invaluable. It's one of those skills that you're going to have to hold on to. And here we go, we got some crescent that dropped. Now, this is just kind of, and I realized later on that it was, because, I mean, the stats are okay. I don't know what wisdom is doing there. Why a monk would want wisdom, at least in this game, for the stat and what it does. It doesn't really make too much sense, but I believe some bard armor has stats that just does not equate to anything that's good for a bard. Veront had a way of doing that. I guess it's just kind of, I don't know, their way of being cheeky. But right now I'm wearing a fine silk turban, I believe. I believe that's what it's called. And it's like 10 AC and it weighs practically nothing. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up switching it out again later on. Um, and plus, it had a graphic. It had the graphic for the leather helm for humans, and I'm just not a fan of that with the facial features I have on my character. Anyhow, we have a pop here, and it was my job to, go ahead and nab him up. But I don't have incoming on my hotkey, so luckily this guy was on par and focused. Otherwise, I would have been nuked to death, or very close to death. And my mend is back up. I don't know why I haven't clicked that yet. I probably should, but well, knowing me, anything could happen. We'll find out. But well, we have ads, and there is a bit of chaos going on. We're trying to maintain some order, some semblance of sanity amid all these spell effects, and I think we're doing an okay job. Things are starting to look on the bright side for us, and we have a really good tank, so everything's coming together. And well, stay tuned for the next part. It's coming up soon, really soon. And thank you for watching.